What is up, Montana sports fans? You've just stepped into Wide Left Sports, where the stories are real, the passion is loud, and the athletes come first. This isn't just another sports show. This is Montana. Small towns, big dreams, long nights, early mornings, and people who flat out love the game. From Friday night lights to summer ball under the sun, from gym floors to turf fields. If it matters here, we're talking about it. Today's episode is another chance to give Montana athletes the mic and let them tell their story the right way. So settle in, turn it up, and get ready, because this is Wide Left Sports. But first, here's a word from our sponsors. Wide Left Sports is proudly sponsored by TDS Fiber, bringing fast, reliable internet to Billings and beyond. Whether you're streaming the big game, uploading content, or just trying to keep the whole house connected, TDS Fiber delivers the speed you need without the lag. Check availability in your neighborhood and make the switch today. TDS Fiber, internet built for real life. Hello, welcome to Wide Left Sports. Today I have a real treat. We have on former Bobcat basketball player Darius Brown II. Darius, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I am doing really good, really good. I know you had a couple of stops on top of the Bobcats, but that's where Montana people know you're from, is your Bobcat stand or stop, excuse me, and how well you did there. But my first question for you, Darius, is what kind of gave you your love for basketball?
Say that one more time.
What gave you your love for basketball?
Um, I think my parents just put me into it when I was younger, obviously to keep kids busy, but I think my parents told me I just had, I always had a basket in my, in the living room. There was a little basket I used to dunk on and all those things, and I always played basketball growing up, and I played football also, but over time I just decided to stick with basketball. Like the not enough games for football for me. So
For sure. So then when did you know that you would be, a good enough athlete to make it to the collegiate level? Because that's not something that everybody gets to do. So when did you know that that was going to be the next step for you?
um for Division 1, it was late. I mean, my senior year, I didn't really catch any D1 off. I only had one Division 1 offer, and I didn't have any. I only had a little bit of Division 1 interest. So, I mean, collegiate. I thought probably around my junior year that I'd be able to get a scholarship somewhere. I had some D2, some NAI looks, but Division 1 came realistic for me senior year. Just started picking up steam with a little bit more interest. Finally got my first offer, and then I kind of just rolled with it. There was kind of no hesitation and just went into it.
That's awesome. So I know that CSU Northridge was your offer, and that's where you ended up. But what was it about them that really made it that place that you wanted to go, even though you had other offers, from lower levels? What was it about there that made it your place you wanted to go?
I really just wanted to push myself. I knew that I was a Division 1 player, and I wanted the opportunity to show it. And to do that, I had to go Division 1. I was planned to redshirt my freshman year. That's what the coaches wanted me to do. And over time, I just kept playing well, and then the red shirt just never happened. I ended up, starting like 5 games into the season, and then never looked back. So that was that's really what happened as far as how I figured I'd get there. And it was close to home. I mean, I grew up 30 minutes away from Cal State Northridge, so that was also a good selling point too. Didn't have to leave.
For sure, for sure. So with your play style, you were the point guard of the offense everywhere you went, and that takes a certain mentality when you are the main runner of the offense. So how did you gain that mindset and that mentality as you were growing up, that helped you throughout your college and then eventual pro career as well?
You know what? I don't know what shaped my mentality as far as, I'm not a scorer. I can score, but I'm not a scorer. Actually, I know exactly what it was. My junior year of high school, going into my senior year, my coach had to sit me down and ask me what I wanted to do with my career and if I wanted to play at a super high level. And he asked me if I wanted to do that, that I'd have to transform myself into a pass first, control the offense guy. He just said that, like, at my height, at my, with my athletic ability, nobody wanted to see me jacking up a bunch of shots. At least, like, I wasn't always, the best scorer anyway, but just like, find what you're good at, be good at that, be great at that one thing, and that'll take you far. So I had a transition from my junior to senior year of my play style and just turning into finally accepting of being a full on just pass first point guard, and it ran with it, and it's taken me so far to the G League, to getting an NBA contract on a two-way for the first time, playing in an NBA game. So it's taken me so far. So that's probably what happened.
That's awesome. So then after Northridge, you entered the transfer portal and came to my home state of Montana in Bozeman. So what was that like for you to enter the transfer portal? And then what ultimately made you decide on Bozeman as your next stop?
Yeah, so I went through a process of, I was in the portal, so all these schools calling your phone and trying to, I going from one Division 1 offer to all of a sudden all these schools calling you was very overwhelming. But ultimately I decided I wanted a fresh change of scenery. I wanted to get out of California. I wanted to get out of home for a sec. I just wanted to leave for the better. And Sprinkle was an assistant coach. Danny Sprinkle was an assistant coach at Cal State Fullerton while I was at Cal State Northridge. Then he got the head coaching job in Montana State. When I hit the portal, he called, and it fit everything I was looking for. As far as I wanted to be a part of a team that had kind of already, that's keeping a lot of players, retaining a lot of players. And it happened to be that Montana State was just missing their point guard because their point guard from the previous year graduated. And Sprinkle recruited me for a little bit. I actually went, before I went to Montana State, I went to their tournament game against Texas Tech in San Diego because it was a 2-hour drive. So I drove down there, hung out there for the weekend, watched the Cats play. And I'm not sure if I committed before that or after that. I'm pretty sure, but I committed soon around that area, and it was a match made in heaven. It was perfect, and I appreciate Sprinkle for the opportunity.
That's so awesome. So then when you got to Bozeman, what was it like for you, being a kid from California, coming out to Bozeman, Montana, and just getting to really ingrain yourself in that Bozeman community and Bobcat community?
It was fun. It was great. I mean, it was just so different from everything that I've done. California, there's just so much going on. So this was the first time I felt like a sense of community, of everybody collectively caring about one thing, and everybody loved the Cats and Bozeman. So that was great. In California, there's just so many different sports teams, schools. There's just so much to cheer for. So you don't get that sense of community. There's people that care, but it's wide. Everybody's got their own thing going on. But Montana State was the first time I felt that, um and I just fell in love with it. So love Bozeman, Montana State, my year there, and it was great for me.
For sure. And your year there was probably one of the best in Montana State basketball history. With the team that you had there. How cool is it to have been a part of that run with Montana State where they made the tournament, I think it was 2 or 3 years in a row. How cool is it to be a part of that and to get to be a part of that history with Montana State basketball?
I mean, it was great. I mean, I was the second year in that three-peat,
Yeah,
um, and it just creates a lifelong bond, and that's the things that you remember the most, not even the basketball and the highlights and the things that you've done. You appreciate the friendships and the relationships that you've built with all those people. Some of my best friends are on that team to this day that I met while I was at Montana State, and talk all the time. And we still have our group chat of our team, and we still, talk in it often. It's something that I really hold dear to me and I appreciate, and it's very special. And it's created bonds with the teams of the past and even Coach Logie's team that went to the tournament the year after. There's just so many connections, and it's just great to be a part of.
For sure. And I remember your year watching the Bobcats game in and game out. It felt like you guys had such of a chemistry on the court that there was almost nothing the defenses could do to stop you guys. Did you feel that on the court as well as a player? Like, this team is special. Did you feel that?
Yeah, I mean, our team was really close knit, so we were very close on and off the floor. We did a lot of things together. We did a lot of things together. We enjoyed each other's company. We went out together. We watched games together. We suffered together. We did a lot of things. So it's something that helps on the court, and Sprinkle and the rest of the coaching staff installed that confidence in us, and we ran with it and did something great. And I'll always remember that.
For sure. Then, after that second year, of course, Coach Sprinkle deservingly gets another job at Utah State, and you follow him to Utah State. What does it mean to you to have a coach like Coach Sprinkle that wanted to take you with him to Utah State?
It was, I mean, it showed all the confidence that he had in me, and that's something that I don't take for granted and take lightly. And ultimately, which led to me, following him there, because there were more options after Montana State. But I decided to stick with Coach Sprinkle and his staff. It wasn't just Sprinkle; he brought the whole staff with him, which made me feel comfortable. So that all played a part. But I'm very appreciative for Coach Sprinkle and having that confidence in me and to bring me to Utah State and then do amazing things there also.
And then, what was that like? Because that's a step up again, playing in the Mountain West and getting to play the competition there. So, what was that like for you, your final year of college ball, to play against some really good teams there in the Mountain West?
It was crazy. I mean, that was probably the best year of the Mountain West history. I mean, there were six teams that went to the tournament. It was, all every team had all this talent, all these players, and it made it sweeter for us. We were, predicted ninth going into the regular season, predicted ninth, and we went in there and won it.
Hmm.
And that was a amazing year that I'm forever appreciative of Utah State, Logan, and all my teammates. That was an amazing year, and another situation where just appreciative of everybody involved. So means a lot to me. Utah State and Montana State means a lot to me.
For sure. And, just on a side note of two of the most beautiful places in the country that you got to play college basketball in Logan and Bozeman, that's pretty dang lucky.
Yeah, all just very different from California. So it and so it took me a second to find that beauty that everybody referred to, because it was just so different to me. A lot of green, a lot of land, a lot of space, and I just wasn't used to that. But Montana, just it's a beautiful place, and then Logan, it was the same thing. Just up north, the valley, it was very beautiful. So they all had its nice moments. So both of those places, yes, are beautiful. Very lucky.
For sure. And so then after college, the NBA, of course, is next. And you've gotten the chance to play for the G League and then, like you said, the two-way contract. So talk to me a little bit about how that all went down and what your options were like coming out of college for the pros and how all that kind of happened.
Yeah, so I wanted to go to so I was going to go to Europe. That was the original plan, was to try to go to Europe and just start, building my pro career. But I was able to, my shout out to my agent, Matt Slan Sports Management. He got me a couple workouts with a couple NBA teams. I had 4 workouts, and I had a really good one with Cleveland, and they wanted me to go to summer league. I went to summer league and earned an Exhibit 10 contract. And then I did my first year with them, and Cleveland's a great organization. Another place I was just different. That was my first time moving to the East Coast, and Cleveland's a great organization, and spent 2 years there, that which helped shape me as a player and as a person. So, really appreciative for my time there, also.
That's awesome. And during that time, you got a two-way contract, which means you played some games in the NBA. And so, what is that? What was that like for you to, lace up and get to wear the Cleveland uniform and play in an NBA game?
It was surreal, something that I actually didn't even really think was possible for me. The older I got, it was more just make it to college, finish college, and hopefully play a couple years of pro, and then end up just playing so well you play yourself into situations, and then got that. So it was surreal to be in the same locker room as guys that I grew up watching and everybody idolizes, as far as James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, and all these guys. So it was a really amazing experience, and something that I don't take for granted and really appreciate, and something I'm working to make sure I can keep happening, or just extend my career as far as I can.
That's awesome. And so, now let's go into what you're doing for the next generation. I know that you have got a camp coming up here in Billings. And so, talk to me a little bit about how that started and what that's going to look like for, Billings kids, and then if you have any other camps around the area as well.
Yeah, so me and Jesse Owens, Jesse has been training me while I'm up in Montana, and we've just talked over times. I've been to a couple high school tournaments and watched the state of the level of high school basketball in Montana, and just want to give back in a sense, and I want to show these kids what they can do, and show these kids that they can make it to these high levels, and that show them what it's supposed to look like. I know I've heard from a lot of people that there's not a lot of pros that are, in Montana and can show these kids the way. So I want to be that for these kids, and give them something to take away for their game, and also give them something to look forward to, and show them that they can. So me and Jesse are putting on a 1 day camp, two different age groups, as far as K through 7, and then 8 through 12. We're going to do two different times, and we're going to do something different that we don't think Billings has seen before. We're going to play games, but we're going to do a lot of situation learning, and show that I'm a player that did not make it on my athletic ability. I made it on my brain. So I just want to show these kids of how to think, what to look at, and show these kids how they can do that. We're going to play games, we're going to do situation, we're going to show film, from these superstars, to show that the same things that we're teaching them, I'm gonna put NBA drills into these camps, so these kids can see what these guys are doing at the next level, and what I've been doing. So it's going to be a great experience for these kids, and I'm hoping that we get a huge turnout, and uh, I just want to get back to the Montana area and show them, and hopefully put on some more camps over the next few years, or however long. Just put on some more camps.
That's so awesome. And so, your partner Jesse is, a Billings legend. He went to West High, where I went to school, and I've known Jesse since he was in high school himself. So, um, what is it, or how does that help having, a partner that is so ingrained in the Billings community with getting this camp started?
Well, so there's multiple reasons. So one, so as you said, he's been in Billings his whole life. He knows the landscape of Montana, and he also sees what I see in this, that Montana has some talented kids, and we just want to put these kids in the position and show them that they can reach these goals. So Jesse knows the landscape a lot better than me, but he sees the state of high school basketball, and younger kids basketball in Montana, and we just want to show them the level that they can get to. And also, I mean, Jesse went to Rocky Mountain College and is the all-time assist leader there. So Jesse's someone that's played high level college basketball in the I can't remember the conference, the Frontier Conference. And
Frontier, yep.
yeah, the Frontier Conference. So it's good to have another mind that's done it. He's been through these situations. He's seen these things, and now he's training kids in Montana also. So we decided to just put our brains together and make this camp, and hoping that we get a large turnout and that we can, spread knowledge to these kids.
Of that. So obviously you're starting in Billings, which I think is smart because it's the biggest town in Montana. But where do you hope to see this? If when this is a successful camp here, where do you hope to expand it to next, and how do you hope to just grow it throughout the next couple of years?
So obviously Jesse is training all the time. Jesse trains full year round in Billings. So this is also something for people to see his talent, and so that Jesse can also have more kids come through, and he could teach more kids, in the level of high school basketball in Montana can rise. I'm unfortunately not there all year round. Since I'm still actively playing. So my goal is to try to do two a year. I can't train kids full time because I'm too in and out of town, and kids need consistency. So, um, as far as the camp goes, I'd like to do something like twice a year. I'd like to maybe put one on in Bozeman also, where you get some Bobcat love. But it's but right now, just sticking to one in Billings right now, and then hopefully next year I could put on two, or we can put on two. But just want to stick to this one and go from there. And Jesse's the one that's training kids year round, so this is also, something for him, so that he has, and more parents and kids can see his talent and his eye for the game, and not so much about the camp.
I love that. So then I know you guys are just now in the registration process and all of that to get kids coming to the camp. So how can parents register their student athletes, and where and when is this camp going to be? Because I have a feeling it's one kids are not going to want to miss. So they're going to want to sign up for this.
Yeah, so we're gonna have there's links in either my Instagram bio, Jesse Owens Instagram bio. We're gonna have it's gonna be over Facebook, Instagram. There's gonna be links everywhere. Where it's gonna be a simple registration on a Google form, and it's gonna be at Elder Grove Middle School in the West End, and it's gonna be two different camps. So it's gonna be K through 7. We're gonna have the little kids there. We're gonna teach them. We're gonna have games. It's gonna be a great time. We're gonna have gifts. We're gonna have some NBA gear given out. We're gonna have some other gear given out. We're just gonna have a great time. And we are also doing, and then we're doing the older kids, and we want the older kids to actually feel the level and intensity of what these NBA guys go through, and we're gonna put them through some NBA drills and put them through NBA film session to show them what level they need to get to, and the attention to detail that they need to have to make it there, and show them that it is attainable. That's the main goal of this camp. We want these kids to leave and believe that they can go to any level that they aspire to go to.
I love that. Well, Darius, I want to thank you so much for coming on and talking about your passion of basketball and helping the next generation. I cannot wait to, support this camp as much as I can. And thank you so much for coming on the podcast today to talk about it.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me.
All right. Have a great rest of your day.
All right, you too.
All right. That's going to do it for this episode of Wide Left Sports. If you liked what you heard, hit that subscribe button, share it with a friend, and keep spreading the word, because this platform grows when Montana sports fans show up for other Montana athletes. These stories matter, the work matters, and the passion around sports in this state is something truly special. Huge thank you to our sponsors for helping us make this possible, and thank you for listening, supporting, and riding with us. We've got more conversations coming, more athletes to highlight, and more Montana stories to tell. Until next time, keep supporting local sports, keep cheering loud, and keep it right here with Wide Left Sports.